Times lie ahead with company worth keeping that'll bash a smile on your head. Come on in, the door's open, you'll find just the finest folks here. Pull up a chair, grab a drink, and let our stories your ear. Cause we're talk the Tavern. Here you're always welcome to talk the Tavern. Promising beer and bedlam to talk the Tavern. Music, medicine, and some to talk the Tavern.
Where'd she go?
And welcome to Monday, February 25th, Talk of the Tavern. No, hold on, we gotta stop that there, don't we?
It's not time for that yet.
No, matter of fact, we're not even going to have that tonight. But anyhow, tonight's topic is going to be fast food society, where everything is dispensable and they want everything instantly. We should be being joined by Kevin shortly, and possibly Chris Hall, but probably not. I am your host, Travis, and tonight I am drinking, what is that? Centenario, 12-year rum, and followed by Coke Zero. Over here we have Andrea. What are your vices tonight?
Right now it's knitting because I left my drink in the fridge.
What's up, my knitter?
Oh God. I think you offended Ed.
Might have. And all the people that crochet. You see, just before the show we were talking to, well, Elizabeth was sitting up, Eddie, Andrea, and I were talking, and as cat lovers, we could be Tiggas and be like, what's up, my Tigga? So we could do that now. So let me introduce the other people. What's up? What? Tigga? What? Ed, what do you got?
Who got?
What? Who got? You got.
What I got?
What do you got?
Bold ginger hard cider.
With real ginger or not?
With real ginger. I'm like ginger ale shit.
What's up, my ginger?
Yeah.
And last but not least, at the same time we're introducing her, we're doing a mic check because it's been just delightful for her tonight. Elizabeth, what do you got this evening?
Are you on mute?
Tonight, Elizabeth will be playing the part of the mime.
Do the interpretive dance.
Stuck in a small box. She's got a glass of stuff, probably sweet tea. And, yeah, it's tea, I got it, yeah. I thought she was just timing for timeout, fuck this shit, goddamn, stupid fucking technology. What's everybody else got tonight?
Did you say cock fucking technology?
I might have said cock fucking
That's
technology.
great.
And Wynn has thrown 30 bits in honor
Hi,
of
Toby.
that thing with the thing.
That thing?
Yeah,
All right.
the thing with the thing. It's my desktop audio is not coming across at all.
Turn it off, turn it on again.
Well, we're gonna check properties here.
Is it plugged in? Oh, see, you broke
Yep,
it.
there it goes. See, it's working now.
Is it plugged in? Just turn it off. Is it on?
So, did it work, Elizabeth? Do we hear you now?
No.
No.
To hear you now.
Oh, wait, maybe.
Can you hear me now?
Yay!
Yay!
So what do
Welcome
you?
to Monday.
So what do you?
Spend no expense.
Absolutely.
Obviously.
Only the best.
It has been that kind of day, and it doesn't surprise me that the rough day I had has seeped into the show. I apologize. Hopefully, I did shake it off.
We'll see. If not, we'll help you. We'll commiserate with you.
Just shake it.
Shake it off. Shake it off.
Let's do an opening toast. She's gonna toast with knitting needles. Here's to being able to shake the day off and move on with other shit.
Look, I can clink.
Yay!
Here.
So, did anybody have anything interesting go on in the past 7 days since we were last together?
Hell no.
I got 10 boxes of Girl Scout cookies.
What?
I only got 10 boxes of Girl Scout cookies.
Did you get Momo?
They don't call them that anymore, but yeah, I got them for Travis because I think they're yucky.
What do they call them now?
Caramel Delights or some crap. I don't know. It's got coconut.
I don't know. Welcome back. Did you have anything interesting happen in the past 7 days?
I went to industrialized sushi place. It was called Sushi Cane, and they basically made sushi like the McDonald's technique of just as little art as possible and just pay $18 and eat a bunch of stuff.
Nice.
It was fun. I would give it a solid B- in terms of quality of sushi. I didn't go blind, but I was horribly constipated.
Oh, God.
They were swimming upstream afterwards, huh?
Gosh.
I saw the Kaminsky method, which you recommended. The best writing I've come across in a long time.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's
on Netflix.
it's a great show, but it's great writing.
No, it's great.
Great writing. Yeah.
The funeral.
In one show, repeatedly, I would laugh my ass off and cry.
Would that be the proctologist or the funeral?
All of them, up to the funeral. At the funeral, when she says, "Oh, thank you for bringing me. I'm having a wonderful time."
It's real quick here. I want to read off Wynn's comment here because I think it may apply to you more than any of us. Paxies are back in the store bakeries for the season. That was my big point of interest today.
What?
Paxies?
What's that?
I have no idea what that is.
Paczkis. Paunchkis.
I know what a Chotsky is.
Apparently from the same language that came up with the word tchotchkes, which is spelled like Tsochke or something. Polish donuts.
Polish donuts.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
You know, Django, the D is silent.
And hello, Gary. How are you, man? Good to see you. It's
Hotchkiss, huh?
yeah,
I'll have to look.
yeah, paunchkis. I feel like we should all look. I feel like if Wynn is excited enough to say that was a high point today,
Now, where is this at?
Absolutely. We should
I guess-
try making them.
Polish bakeries, I guess.
Where's a Polish
How do
bakery?
you spell
Poland?
it again?
Paczkis. Oh, Wynn says Kroger.
It
Which
might
is-
as well be in
Was it
Poland.
Kroger
because
is a Polish name.
we don't have any of those around here. We'll have to find one.
Someone
We-
once told me I couldn't be Polish because my last name didn't end in ski.
Ah,
And, yeah, I mean, I wasn't even sure how to
Close
respond.
enough.
Close enough. Oh, and did I tell you about the Dairy Girl? That's another mini series I watched on Netflix, and it takes place in the town of
Yes.
Derry in Northern Ireland during the 90s. And it's, I think, in the longest time, this has been refreshing. They've got teenagers thinking like teenagers and acting like teenagers in this story, and it's funnier than hell.
Oh yeah, I started watching that because it was recommended because I watched Land Girls. It's about the women who worked the fields during the war when all the men were off at war.
Which war?
2. The second one.
One of them.
Ah, 2. Okay.
What?
All right, I'll look that one up. Land Girls. Got it. Let me write that down.
It's not a comedy, but it's good.
Well, according to Andrea,
I'm-
Kaminsky Method wasn't much of a comedy either.
Oh, I could stop laughing.
No, at the beginning I'm like, you know what? It's like Trolls. Screw this show.
Oh, thank you, Ed. I appreciate that, man. 1, 2,
Yeah,
3,
Bob's
4.
not here. I might catch him.
Where is
Oh,
Bob?
oh,
And by the way,
What?
it's thanks to all you guys out there watching, throwing bits, subscribing, etc. We're almost back on track to Twitch paying us every month. We are now about $19 away from February actually being a paid month. So thank you, and thank you, Ed. By the way, Wynn says I watched Solo: A Star Wars Story and actually liked it. Realized it's because it had no Jedi stuff in it.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a flawed movie, but it was still a fun ride. You know,
I like when Chewbacca looked like a wet dog.
that was good. That was good.
Yeah.
It's I think the worst part of Solo is when he got his last name. You know, where it was assigned randomly by an Imperial recruitment person. It would have been better. Same scenario, just he goes, I don't have any people. Put down Solo. That would have been much better than random officer coming up with that shit. But it's no worse than Star Trek when Bones gave his name. She left me with nothing but my bones. Oh, thank you for that cheese. It's not even good cheese.
Cheese. Oh. I'm like, no, that's
I
okay.
would have liked to have just seen, for 2 hours, Han Solo and Chewie.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't need all these other boring people I didn't give a rat's hoot about. And then they introduced some people that are kind of cool and then immediately killed them off because they're interesting, you know.
Well, I liked Londo in there because you know how he got the Millennium Falcon. The Millennium Falcon is a character in itself.
He was fabulous.
But yeah, the love interest, etc. By the way, Wynn says, no, I love the random officer. My husband said that was exactly what a Navy recruitment officer would do, and he should know. Well, that makes me feel a little better, but it felt like lazy writing.
Well, now you know.
You know, it's... But, no, it's still not a bad movie. I will own it at some point. I did watch all 3 Star Trek movies this past weekend with my son, the newest ones. And
The newest son?
yes, that too. And when you're exactly right, this is something they've done great with Marvel. Is Wynn says we liked it because it was a fun heist movie, and Marvel did that with Captain America. You have a war movie, you have a heist movie, or Ant-Man is a heist movie, etc. They've taken movie genres.
Is Ant-Man a heist movie?
It is.
You know what's a heist movie that I enjoyed?
What's it?
Ocean's like 53 or whatever that was.
I like the Ocean's movies.
The one with the girls, the women.
And the Italian Job.
Yes.
It's I put those right next to each other, and
I don't
Too
know
bad
that.
they never made 2.
it is a shame. It is a shame, but you know what?
What's Italian Job?
It's
not
this.
porn, is it?
No, it's just. It's
It could be.
It's delicioso.
Yeah.
And
Ciao.
if you like Ocean's movies, go watch Italian. It's on the shelf in there.
Okay.
It's
But,
fun.
I really enjoyed the women one because there's always... I find it funny because who was it that did a joke about it? John Mulaney said they could never make like an Ocean's movie with women. They would never get the heist done. They'd be complaining about outfits. I find it hilarious because now there's that movie.
Right.
So
And they did complain about outfits in it,
I know.
which is right. It's
But they got the job done.
no. I even enjoyed Ocean's 8, which is the one with the women.
Is that 8? I don't know.
Yeah, they had Ocean's 11. 11 is the first
I
one, right?
think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
11, 12, and 13. Then they did Ocean's 8.
And so what is it? The Fabulous 6 or what?
well, you
Those
have
movies in 7.
okay. Well, you had the. Damn it! Why'd you have to go do that? Now we have Ridiculous 6, which is the Magnificent 7. Is the original. Kevin is home and setting up. Very good, Kevin.
So you got 6, 7, 8, 8, 11, 12, 13.
I
Because
think.
there's the Hateful 8.
Yeah, well, I think that's slightly those movies a little different from.
No,
No.
No.
Okay.
there's numbers. It's all right.
By the way, if you enjoy things like The Magnificent Seven, Hateful Eight, Adam Sandler did a crappy parody called The Ridiculous Six.
Yeah. It's funny.
Which isn't to say it's not amusing, it's just crappy, and that's that.
But it's funny.
But we enjoyed it.
Yeah. So I'm like, is this a prequel to Ocean's 11? It's not.
What else went on in the past week for anybody? Nothing?
Oh, I got a student that showed up for the 6th week of school, 7th, with still no homework to show. Fabulous. Fabulous. I think I sent Andrew a picture of that.
Yeah.
Hey, Kevin, when you come and log in and talk to us, we'll discuss Adam Sandler movies that isn't crappy. There's at least 2 or 3 that are pretty fucking good.
I really like Adam Sandler, but there was one movie. Nope. Well, no, there's 2 movies I won't watch again because they're just mean and suck. Wait for it. I'm waiting until Kevin comes on.
Oh, okay. We'll hold that over.
Ooh.
But, yeah, I don't think there's been much else besides making the... I will be starting to record my audiobook pretty soon. I have created the sound box for it. I just have to get the screen backdrop and a rug to help buffer some of the sound. And then, yeah, I'll begin recording. And that'll be that. Locking the cats in other rooms so they can't scratch at the door.
Hear that random meow?
Yeah,
Good
exactly. No, I'll just call them all back into the bedroom and shut the door while they're all back there with the litter box, and I'll put the food and water back there.
Banging on the wall.
It's okay. It's 3 rooms.
Speaking of, okay, you want to know what happened in the past 7 days?
Yes.
I ordered this great toy for the cats because they love it so much. It has that little butterfly that goes around the base. They like to kill it. I ordered them a heavy duty one. Came in today. Didn't work.
You sounded like Elizabeth when Elizabeth is setting up her Twitch OBS Discord thing.
Yeah. Because they all wanted the butterfly. Kevin!
Okay.
Guten Tag, meine Liebchen.
It's the wanker.
Oh, good morning.
Indeed. Oh, yeah, go on then, surprise me. What movie has Adam Sandler ever made that wasn't crap?
That wasn't crap.
What good
Yeah.
movies?
All of them except for Jack and Jill and Love Punch Drunk. The rest of them were
I
crap.
don't know, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just something about Adam Sandler.
That is possible. I enjoyed Happy Gilmore in particular.
Oh, I love that. That's my favorite.
The golfing
Yeah,
hockey
okay,
one.
I'll kind of give you that.
And
I
And the
did-
grandmother
I
in
just find
it.
it. I don't know what it is about. A lot of people go, oh, you put him in a comedy role, he's great, but he never sells it convincingly for me.
no, I can see what you're saying. And, a lot of people feel the same exact way as you. So this is... You're not alone, and we're not criticizing that view. Just...
He always feels like he's trying too hard to be deliberately outre and stupid to
I think- well, he
create
is.
comedy rather than it just coming naturally.
I really enjoyed 50 First Dates
Oh, it was
with
adorable.
Drew
I
Barrymore.
That one, and I like the Longest Yard.
I do
yeah,
like The
that was
Longest
good.
Yard
It
also.
was one of the better remakes I think I've ever seen of a movie.
So,
I mean, to each their own.
yeah, I'll just say there's some good and there's some god-awful, and there's a lot of in-between.
It could just be me. I will freely admit that I am somewhat of a miserable bastard at the moment. So it could just be me projecting myself onto that.
It could be, but I'm willing to bet you feel like this about Adam Sandler even when you're not a miserable bastard.
What did the French do
Yeah.
to you?
What did the French do to me? How long
Yeah.
have you got?
Not enough.
Well, that's why you're so angry, right?
In the last 7 days, or historically since the 100 Years' War?
No, just the last 7 days to make you cranky.
By the way, let me read Wynn's comment talking about locking cats in the back room. She types in all capitals, cat-a-ca, cat-a-ca. What kitties yell when they're banging on the door to their jail. It's,
Oh, there's a video
There
in
you go.
that.
where is? Oh, there is.
No.
Like that one that I showed you from TikTok.
Yes.
At the dancing, you know, I need to go
the
fix.
funniest one ever.
Yeah, that was I fucking adored that thing. It made me happy every time I hit play again. Did I put it in Discord? Did you guys see this?
Now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put it in Discord. That's great.
See, Toei has this category of I only like him as a voice actor, and she says Adam Sandler falls into the I only like him as a voice actor category for her. Who was the other actor you mentioned, Win, that you said you only like him as a voice actor? It was... I can't remember. We were talking about this just the other day, I think. Steve Carell.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I tell you what, The Office put me off Steve Carell for a little while, but I do enjoy, like Little Miss Sunshine, and a few of his other.
Just clarify for me, is that the guy who took the lead role in The Office? So
In the
David Brent, as was in the American version, yeah.
Yeah.
So what was originally Ricky
Correct.
Gervais's role? Right.
Yeah, it's just he was too moronic for me to even watch. It just made me cringe the whole time. And then Rainn Wilson was the suck-up in The Office. Everybody else in that cast I kind of enjoyed.
I've never seen
Those two, I couldn't. I tried. It sucked.
I thought they did pretty well, because I thought The Office was quite a difficult comedy to try and challenge in terms of translating it to an American audience. Because a lot of the humour Gervais worked into that was so intrinsically British that when I first read they were doing an American version, I wasn't sure it was going to translate at all. I was wondering whether maybe it was going to end up being like, you guys familiar with Shameless?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now, have you seen both versions or just the American one?
Is there another version?
The original British.
The
Oh, no, but I
original
need to
British
watch that.
version. Yeah, the American version is a rewrite of the British version. The British version is fucking hilarious. Now, I watched the American one. They had to, inevitably, change the characters somewhat so that they provided the same cultural humour references to the American audience that the British one did to us. So in that sense, when you've watched the British one and then you watch the American ones, some of it seems odd because it's been changed. But it makes sense when you realise that a lot of the intrinsically British humour in the original just wouldn't translate across the pond.
I'm going to have to watch that. I know, I think it's Being Human.
Yeah.
I like the British version of that.
Yeah, that's again, wasn't it? Yeah, I watched the first series of that. I think it was okay.
There was one British show that I watched that they tried to do in America and they didn't even get through like the whole first season before they canceled it in the US.
God, what is it?
With the one with the dinosaurs and the time travel and the space portals and even in the British version, season 1 was really good. Season 2 was okay, and season 3 was what the fuck?
I can't think of its name, but I remember what you're on about. Yeah, I wasn't actually aware they'd made it an American version. Was it British enough to need an American version though?
No.
No,
but then again,
with something like The Office or Shameless, I totally get why they made an American version rather than just react it with American actors. They changed some of the script, some of the cultural references, because it just wouldn't have made sense. But that show, assuming I'm thinking of the right one, there was nothing British enough about it to warrant remaking it, as it's
correct. It's just like remaking.
I suppose maybe they just thought it wouldn't sell so well with a bunch of British actors in it.
Well, like Being Human didn't need to be rewritten for an American audience.
It didn't.
So yeah, there's a discussion of
No,
welcome back, Ed. Everything okay?
That was about a job. Sorry.
Okay. We don't Primeval. Very good win. I'm sorry. What, Elizabeth?
Isn't that's the American way? We take something British, like a country or a TV
show. Make everybody on the other side.
Doesn't really have a big difference, but that's what we do.
Very true. Yes, Primeval.
Not as eloquent, The beer isn't as good.
Well, the way they wrote it and jammed it together, it should either be Primeville or Primeval. Since there's only one E between the two words.
Yeah, but The D is silent.
It's not if
We
you're
wa-
doing it right. It's not.
We watched Django Unchained last night. That's a great movie.
Showed Aiden his first Quentin Tarantino flick.
How sweet.
Well, it is Quentin Tarantino, you know, but
Because he's hit that point, and we're still like, I don't know about Pulp Fiction. I don't know if it would.
that or Kill Bill, I think that'd be too much for him.
He's at that point, he needs to see what his father used to do.
Yeah, I was a Mandingo.
The D is silent, right, Andrea? The D is silent.
I was a man Ingo.
I just heard Travis on the phone late at night going, "Don't bring that ODM pitch to my house."
Great call, great call, great call.
Okay. Let me make sure everything's.
Horrible.
Yeah, we're all good and we're all set up. Okay.
Hey, it's working.
I guess we could get on with the topic unless anybody else has anything to add from their past week.
Fuck no.
Excellent. It's So the topic tonight is fast food society, basically looking at how a lot of people want instant gratification and don't want to have to take care of anything, thus everything is replaceable. And we can compare it to fast food, but we're doing this in everything. We're doing it in jobs, we're doing it in employees, we're doing it in relationships. I'm one of those guys, I buy a TV, I expect it to last 10 plus years. I know I'm deluded on this one. If I buy a DVD player, I don't plan to replace it in 2 years. I plan for that thing to go till DVDs no longer exist. I don't care if it weighs 50 pounds, is
Like
the size of a
Betamax.
table.
Somewhere in my dad's loft, I've still got a Betamax video player.
I'm sure it still works. So,
They're worth a fortune now.
are they
That's
really?
why I kept hold of it. Well, not necessarily a fortune. It depends what it is and whether it's still in working condition and you have cassettes for it and stuff. But
Wow.
yeah, they can reach decent prices now. It's Betamax, and I don't presume it's the same in the US, but they came out roundabout or just before the same time as VHS, but were very quickly supplanted by VHS and sold in much lesser numbers, and are therefore much rarer and surviving condition now.
Oh.
Wynn says, that's the sad state of my phone right now. It's going on 7 years old, and it won't run most of today's apps. And phones are a great place to where to begin with these things, because I don't know about you guys, but with those 2-year contracts, who does not see a sudden drop in quality and consistency in your phone right at
2
about
years.
18 to 21 months?
Yep.
It's,
I'm ahead of the curve there. Never had a mobile phone contract, don't have one now.
but you know what I mean?
I'm a pay-as-you-go customer,
But-
always have been.
Once you have it up to that long, things start to fail. And not just because the apps don't match up, but your battery life suddenly drops off.
Okay, yeah, that's an issue. Apps, certainly, because obviously the firmware inside the phone reaches a point where it doesn't matter how many new versions of iOS or Android, wherever they release, your phone just doesn't have the capability to process fast. No. But I mean, I haven't had a new phone for decades. My current one is 4 years old. The one before that was 7 years old, and they work.
The one before that was the brick with the purse that you had to put on.
To prove a point about the durability, you remember the old Motorola ones, not the original suitcase size
Right.
ones, the first kind of handheld mobile phone. It was still a clunky old thing. To prove a point once, in a car park in Telford, which is just outside Birmingham, in a drunken argument with a guy about how reliable Motorola were, I drop-kicked a Motorola brick phone across the car park for around 50 yards straight into a concrete wall, picked it up, snapped it back together and rang him on it. And I've still got that phone, it's in a drawer somewhere, and it still powers on and works.
Wow. They
You
don't
try
make them
doing
like
that
that.
with an iPhone, you drop an iPhone from 3 inches now and disintegrates like it's made of crystal.
Yeah.
That's true.
There's a Frankie Boyle, who's a British comedian I've mentioned before, who actually Scottish comedian that I love, who's incredibly dark and irreverent and offensive. Once said that many people claim that Steve Jobs died too young, but I think it's a fitting metaphor for his company's attitude to battery life.
Right. Couple of comments. Wynn is saying, she also buys phones to avoid contracts. Gary is saying, new tech is marketing that mostly works. And then he mentions he has an older phone that runs custom versions of new software and one of the best ever made. I don't think technology as it improves gets more durable. I think the companies realize whether it's a laptop, a car, a phone, your TV, whatever type of piece of equipment you're using, they find the value in having the value disappear because you replace it. Because you're not going to argue for it and try to repair it when it costs 2/3 of the cost of a new one to repair the old one.
Yeah.
HP, who make computers and laptops, are a wonderful example of this. I don't know if anyone's ever owned one of these pieces of plastic shit, but they make a laptop, their basic budget entry one called, again, it might have a different name in America, but here it's referred to as the HP Pavilion. They're great if you want a first laptop and you skip them. They're cheap as fuck, they come with a decent spec, they sound like a great deal. Until something goes wrong with them, and you find out they are all solid state. You cannot remove the graphics card, you cannot remove the sound card, you cannot upgrade the hard drive, you cannot change anything about it. The CD drive is an integral part of the system with a tiny flimsy little drawer. If it breaks or stops working or stops ejecting properly, you can't take it out and put a new CD drive in. You have to buy a brand new laptop.
That's the give and take.
Yeah, you're right. Everything is marketed and designed to break earlier than it should.
So
it's deliberately made with the cheapest possible materials because they don't want you to buy a product from them and then purchase nothing for a decade.
well, this was the example to get us started because we're all pretty confident that corporations are out to rake us over the coals and make as much as they can off of us. But how
Since the dawn of time.
how does all this reflect on our personal actions in our life? Do we start treating people, things? We no longer we're talking about, shows or movies that you've loved for years. Nowadays, it's what's coming out next as opposed to I enjoyed this one for years.
It's always about the next bigger, better thing. The shinier. Yeah.
Does it take away the value of what's going on right now because we're so busy expecting what's coming up?
To a certain extent, I think the greater picture is that it certainly devalues anything that has gone in the past. Like you say, you make a very good point about how we no longer discuss long-running TV shows or movies we saw 10 years ago that are still having an impact on us. We're still talking about now. It's become, like everything in life, bite-sized disposable chunks. You chew it up, spit it out, and then you don't care about it anymore because there's something new to digest.
Oh, you don't even digest it. You said you spit it out, and you're right. You don't even swallow and shit it out anymore.
Yeah, now I think things are produced so quickly, people don't take the time to enjoy what they have. Like, before, it took a while to get something new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Years and years ago, I'd say years and years, when I first started writing my blog, when I sat in front of the screen for the first time, I had no idea how to get started, what to write for my first article, my first post, if you like. So I stuck to the old advice to write about something that you know and you care about. My first ever blog was about exactly this, but in relation to the music industry. How in the past, in order to gain critical acclaim, you not only had to be musically talented without the aid of auto-tune, without the aid of massive marketing drives behind you, but the only way to get yourself known was to tour extensively, to play and to tour and to play and to tour and release album after album and gradually build that acclaim. These days, any dickhead with auto-tune and a laptop in their living room can make a song that potentially will be at the top of your chart next week and forgotten just as quickly. Nobody's interested in musical artists with long-spanning careers where you can see development, you can see growth in ability, you get stuff like concept albums and stuff like that. It's all been reduced to 30 minutes of bite-sized, auto-tuned, bland crap that's easily achievable, easily disposable. People lap it up, but you know, how many albums that you bought in the last 5 years will you be playing in 30 years?
Yeah.
How many old
I can answer
people?
that.
Yeah, but Ed?
Well, any albums in the last 5 years, I'm still playing everything from 30 years ago.
I haven't bought albums, but I have bought singles off
I
of,
bought some singles. Yeah.
and those I will still be playing in 30 years because you no longer have to buy the whole album. You could just buy what you want, what you like now. It's all a la carte. But that also shows for the disposable society. You know, you don't even have to eat the whole meal and get your vegetables. Wynn doesn't think that she's bought music since the 90s. And she also points out, yeah, things have a big turnover except for politicians. We're stuck with the same ones for generations once they get into high office.
Put them out.
And Gary brings up light bulbs. I bought these long-lasting light bulbs. You know, the ones that, like, they're LED or they're whatever, but they're the coily fluorescent screw-in, and they're supposed to last 10 times longer than incandescent. Yet 2 years, that's all I'm getting out of them.
They cost 10 times more.
Yeah.
It's getting harder, if not impossible, to actually find incandescent light bulbs in the UK now. Everything is driving towards this eco switch towards.
They don't make them here anymore. They stopped
Which is a
production.
real fuck. If there's anybody in the light bulb industry, can I just point out it's a real fucker for us reptile keepers?
Well,
You know, a light bulb that gives off fuck all heat. What's that about? Now I've got to buy supplementals, THEs. They cost money.
don't blame the light bulb
Ceramic
people.
heat emitter, by the way, in case anyone's wondering.
Don't blame the light bulb people. Blame the people for the environment, because they're making it to where you can't have this stuff. You have to have the curly light bulbs. I don't know. Just saying.
So what about you guys? Do you buy shit with the intention of it not lasting?
No.
No, exactly the opposite. If I think it's not going to last, I'd rather not buy it. I've hung on to obsolete technology long past its best date because I know that when eventually I'm forced to replace it, I'm going to be forced to replace it with something shitter.
Bob says, I wore out my fleshlight. I get what you're talking about. Yeah, then he came over to visit. He wore out my fleshlight too. I'm like, can you put that away while we're eating?
Awkward.
Gary, that's a great idea. Gary works construction-ish type work. He says, I take all the bulbs from demolition jobs.
Nice.
Yeah. It's got to look odd walking away with a Walmart bag full of loose light bulbs tinking and clanking, but I don't blame you. He finds some good stuff. He was telling me about some of this stuff. It's interesting.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
Dead bodies.
Especially
bags
doing
of
demolition
cash.
jobs.
Yeah. There's Grandma on the wall and Uncle Joe on the floor, and it's
I mean, I
Elizabeth?
presume it's the same in America, but I've got a friend who does works for a demolition company here on the island, and he makes nearly as much in scrap collected from jobs as it does from the actual jobs themselves. Everything down to like copper wiring from the walls. It's all resellable for scrap, right?
Elizabeth?
Okay. So, fast food society. I find that, okay, I agree. And I did grow up a little bit differently than everyone, so we did have to wait an awful long time, and sometimes never see the end result of a season finale, you know, growing up overseas with AFN. I find that consumption has changed in that we don't consume and then share our discoveries with one another, that we just consume. And I think one of the unfortunate outcomes from just, in terms of entertainment value, you know, binge watching and just not waiting, instantly gratified, there loss of appreciation for what goes into creating these bits of entertainment, of escape. And I see evidence in it when I teach film. Children they struggle with just thinking and creating something with their hands that they want to hit a button, and then the app will do a massive explosion, and they never have to pretend an explosion where you would just flicker a flashlight off camera and maybe throw some talcum powder. Or even the simple idea of just as a sound effect.
Right.
And it's an unfortunate enslavement and limitation of the mind.
Yeah. Keeping creativity down in general because it's so easy to get the next thing, either A, to entertain you in the first place, or B, when you're creating entertainment, to have instant emotes that you don't need to create yourself. And
Yes, there's a lot of freedom in that kind of creation. And, even just as a child or just anything, even as an adult, there is a freedom when you make something up. And there is a slight risk. And I think that's kind of one of the major components of humanity is our willingness to disbelieve, our willingness to humiliate ourselves, even just in a little level of telling a joke. Or
look at all our YouTube videos. Little bit of humiliation in them.
Indeed. The willingness to ruin your political career. One video.
Oh, thank God I don't have a... I'll never have one. I'm so grateful.
I don't have a political career either, for which the rest of the UK is deeply grateful.
I don't know. I tell you what, guys, we might not be able to get political office, but if society ever collapsed and a large portion of the human race died off, we'd be the fucking leaders people would turn to. I'll tell you that right now.
But don't you find that, I'm wondering, they say does art imitate life or does life imitate art? But also, does it influence it? And what is the aspect of people just being fed without having to think, constantly watching, constantly absorbing? Reading is hard. You have to focus and try.
Right.
Just staring at a screen, flicker, 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 brainwashing anyone?
Uh-huh. They live.
It's okay to eat burgers and fries, and we all love burgers and fries and milkshake, but be careful to not only eat burgers and fries and milkshake. Like you feed your brain.
I should show my son They Live.
They live.
Well,
That's a good movie. Yeah. Yes, Andrew?
I don't know if this applies to it, but the fast food society, basically it's what you want quickly, the way you want it. You don't have to do any work.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like the participation trophies.
Yep.
Everybody gets it.
And you don't even need a plate. All the packaging is right there, whether it's actual food or other things. All the packaging is right there. Then all that's left is for you to go, that was good, or complain about it.
Well, yeah.
If it were animated, it would be an automatic machine. You just sit down, it feeds you.
Have you seen Wall-E?
I'll tell you what I've noticed, that it might just be peculiar to my personal experience, but in the food industry, particularly in the last 10 years, there is so much wider access to, as you say, Travis, ready-to-eat food, stuff that involves no preparation, no culinary skill. You push a button or rip open a packet and it's there ready to go. But when people dine out more, there is a lot more impatience from customers in terms of the time it takes to cook real food. If you're lucky to be dining somewhere where your chef is making that food from scratch and not just doing a culinary version of what you do at home and cutting open the packet made by a chain for him and microwaving, that guy is cooking. People seem to think that 3 minutes after they order, where's my steak? It's still fucking cooking.
Right.
It takes time, But
So
because I've worked in kitchens and because I've managed front of house as well, there is definitely a trend of less patience amongst customers for time waits for food.
So would
and
we
I
say...
wonder if I think that directly correlates to the fact that at home and in a lot of our dining habits now, people are so used to food being, there it is, it's ready, that they expect a chef to be able to do the same thing.
So the less patience, the less appreciation.
Yeah, to a certain extent. I mean, I think when they get a good cooked meal, the appreciation for the food is there. You know, that I think they're smart enough still as a populace so far to appreciate the difference between a decent, proper cooked meal and microwave meal, for example. But certainly less patience by a country mile.
Now, my son is being raised in this generation of where this is this way. And here's something I have noted, not just amongst him, but across the board. I can go in there and I can make everything from scratch. You know, I can go make fajitas and grill everything and make fresh pico de gallo and all this. And I have. Or breakfast, and you have the 8 things laid out, you know, bacon and sausage and pancakes and blah, 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 blah. Fresh oranges cut. Or, you know, dinner with steak and fresh. So you have all this stuff. I can do that, or I could put literally a plastic tray microwave meal 3 to 5 minutes in the microwave in front of him. Same level of appreciation.
Yeah.
Now, he's appreciative. Don't get me wrong. But it doesn't fucking matter to him which one is put in front of him. Because to him, he's doing something the whole time. So it's all instant food in his brain. You know, it's not like he's sitting at the table waiting for it as I cook it. But yeah, when it comes to the appreciation of the skill, the time, the effort, it's all the same to most people. This generation.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword as well, because people tend to. I've heard people of my children's generation say, "Why on earth would you want to spend the amount of time it takes to cook a home-cooked meal?" And because they're so used to everything being quick and disposable, they think because it's not instant food that it has to take a long time. Now, we all know, because we've all cooked for ourselves all life long, that there are meals you can knock together in 5 or 10 minutes. You know, it doesn't take me an hour to prepare an omelette, for example. Right. But, well, depends how good the omelette is. No,
I was waiting for that.
By the time I'm dead, I can poach my truffle. No, anyway. They seem to think because it's not prepared for them in an instantly disposable format, that there is too much effort, too much work involved to achieve the same result, which ties in with what you were saying about Aiden's equal levels of appreciation, whether there's skill involved or not. And it's actually creating a dangerous trend, because the more they're used to it, the less they would put the effort into doing it for themselves, which means a greater preponderance on that instant food, which means a greater reluctance to do anything that's not that, and so it's gradually getting worse and worse.
Right.
I'm very lucky with my kids because of my experience, because we've been able to teach them how to make food last, how to be thrifty, how to shop sensibly, you know. It breaks my heart when you see someone, for example, go to a supermarket. Okay, we all do it occasionally. You buy a ready-cooked rotisserie chicken or something like that, you know. But people would take the chicken off, use the chicken forever, and just chuck the carcass.
Yeah.
We literally can't do that. We're like, no, fuck that. Boil it up, chuck some onion there, make a stock, freeze it. That's a soup for another day. That's a whole extra meal out of the shit you've just thrown in the bin. If
Right.
not two, you know?
Right.
But people don't think like that anymore, because they don't have to. You know, you used to have to be thrifty, you have to make your food last. You know, you had to walk to a shop. These days, I go online, 3 clicks with my mouse, and some fucker brings my shopping to my front door for me.
Here's
They'll even bring it up the path and drop it at the front door.
Here's something else to consider with all the pre-made food. Which, by the way, 2 weekends ago, I had my son go in there and cook something, and I just told him what to do. And it was baked potatoes and steak or something like that. I had him cook it. I'm like, there you go. Look, was that hard? He's like, no, not at all. And I'm like, that's right. You're not fucking hard. So don't. But anyhow, with all this pre-made stuff, whether it's food or other stuff, with all this packaging, there are times I go out and I buy everything fresh. Separate all the meat, freeze it in portion sizes, you know, or cook a soup and freeze ready-made. Just drop it in a pot, thaw it out, heat it up. And there's other times I have literally gone out and bought 12 or 15 ready-made meals and put them in the fridge. Do you want to read that out loud there, Kevin?
I can do. I was just going to say cheers, Bob, but since you've drawn attention to it, Bob's just posted Kevin's yogurt marinade got me laid a few months back.
Mm-hmm.
Told you, Bob. You got to go with the yoga, man. It's all about penetration.
But anyhow, my trash can will fill up 2 to 3 times faster with the pre-made stuff than making it myself. So just the packaging, when we're looking at one pre-made meal, you have the box around it, then you have the film over it, and then you have your little plastic tray that everything's in.
Some of it is ridiculous these days.
It is.
I'm sure we've all seen a bit like bananas in individual plastic packets. What the absolute fuck?
They come in a package. They're born in a package.
Exactly, yeah. It's already in its own wrapper. It doesn't need you to add plastic around it, for the love of God.
No, welcome
There's
back.
one banana as well. Someone's taken the time to separate a bunch of bananas and then individually plastic pack each one. What kind of soul-destroying monkey are you?
Well, how much are bananas out there?
In the UK? Right now,
Yeah.
are you talking about if I go buy a shit banana from a supermarket, or if I go to Barrow Boys, the local grocer up the road, and buy one? Because there's the difference as well. A lot of people don't realise this, and it's a very key point about this ready-made food. If I go and buy a banana in my local supermarket, a bunch of bananas is, I don't know, 110, 120 for a hand of 5. I go on the road to my local grocer, they're 10p each. And a lot of people don't realise this. It's cheaper to buy fresh food than it is to buy this ready packaged shite. Yes, it's convenient. Yes, it's quick. But you pay through the nose for it. You are paying for somebody to do something you can do yourself in 5 minutes at home.
Right.
And in order to keep it fresh once they've done that, as opposed to you cooking it fresh and then consuming it immediately on the spot, they're pumping it full of preservatives, full of additives, full of chemicals. It kills the flavour. It's not fresh food.
That's
It's not
correct.
good for you. It's packed full of sugar and salt and all kinds of other horrendous stuff. Not to mention drinks. They're the worst thing.
Well, my point of this whole topic is, yes, there's all these things we're talking about. But we're going back to manufacturing. We're going back to the corporate stuff. Oh no, we lost Elizabeth. Let's do this. Oh, we got Elizabeth back. Okay. My point is, how is this affecting our society and how we survive, how we thrive? You know, are we...
Well,
Go ahead, Ed.
we're spoiled, period. We're spoiled. Or at least some of us are. And if shit ever hits the fan, we won't survive. Well, some of us will, because we can, and we use bones to make stock out of. But the rest of us won't survive. Which I'm good with that.
Yeah. It's I
Come
think...
soon enough, Ed.
See, no matter how big of an asshole somebody is, if they're self-sufficient and reliable in certain ways, you're willing to overlook assholeness because you know they're doing their shit that they need to do. What?
There
Asshole
is,
shit?
in the UK right now, a very real scenario that within the next 10 years we could all be looking at massive hikes in the price of some food, partly due to Brexit and the lack of, obviously we're coming out of Europe, which means we're losing our customs deal. There's the possibility we may look into negotiating new customs deals with, for example, America. There's already lobbying from the American meat market in the UK for the UK to relax its laws regarding stuff like ammonia washed meat, the chemicals you're allowed to put into food, because they know that we're in a market weak position. And they are pushing for these laws to be relaxed so that they can ship American products from America straight into our country as they're provided for your market. And for anyone who doesn't know, the British food laws at the moment are a lot stricter, a lot tougher than they are in America. But I suspect that is all going to change very soon because we have fucked ourselves royally with Brexit. Whether we've done it for the right reasons or not is a whole separate program. But the practical reality of it is that we are about to come out of Europe and lose the customs deal that provides us with financial benefit in terms of shipping food and other goods. Now we will need to replace that deal, so we may have no choice but to relax our legislation because without a deal with America or somebody else equivalent, we will starve. It's as simple as that. Britain cannot produce enough food to feed itself. We don't have the agricultural land anymore. we're reliant on import of foodstuffs from outside the UK. We could not, if we closed our borders tomorrow, feed our populace.
Now, on the plus side of that, Kevin, you would no longer be the fattest country in Europe.
This is true. This is true.
But I'm an optimist. I look at things differently.
But the point, I'll try and be really quick. The point I was trying to make is that if something like Ed suggesting happens, if we reach a cataclysmic point in this country where the food is so expensive that a lot of people are experiencing difficulty in affording food, so few of our populace will be able to grow and cook and make their own food. We don't fucking know how to do it anymore, because we've become so reliant on it being served up piecemeal and instant gratification by supermarkets and stores for.
Very true.
This is why I've taught my kids to cook. God forbid they ever end up literally, being forced to go to something like a food bank because they have no idea how to produce their own food.
I need to ding the bell here. We're at 5 minutes. Anybody need a refill break?
The exact opposite.
Right. Well, it doesn't mean you're refilling your glass.
I hope not.
And I'm going to go get another drink here. Can I get you anything while I'm up? I see you got a bowl full of gummies. What's that?
I said, no, I'm good, thanks.
It's
Okay, let me move.
okay. We're just gonna slide it this way. Here we go.
No, my chair won't move.
Is there a cat under it?
No, because I can't reach the floor.
Okay, I'll be right back. You guys
Yeah, I'm going to step out for 2 minutes, so I'm back for the hour.
talk amongst yourselves. Hey, you can read comments.
He left.
Oh, it's only you.
It's just me
I'll be on the other room here.
and the cats.
Bye.
They left me. They all left me.
See, I would have stayed in until somebody came
They're
back.
coming back.
If I had known they were all going. So anyhow,
Everybody left. So
so
it's just me staring.
well, actually, the two there's
Is that
there's
Bob?
Of course, that's Bob.
Hi, Bob.
Which, by the
Missed
way, Toey said, I'm going to get a beer. Bob said, me too. Then Bob screamed.
Oh.
But before that, when we were still on the topic, yes, Ed, I gave some extra mayonnaise. Win said, say what you want about U.S. problems, but at least we can feed ourselves. And Bob pointed out Soylent Green. Good times there. Well done. It's, welcome back, Ed. Oh, he doesn't have headsets on. Now he does. Welcome back, Ed.
Hello!
It's at this point in time, I want to take a moment to once again thank all you guys that got those little Talk of the Tavern icons by your names who subscribe using Amazon Prime or paying actual real money. Definitely appreciate that. Want to encourage you guys to bring your friends in by clicking share just underneath the monitor there, and remind you that I'm on most days of the week throughout the afternoon and evening. Don't forget, you can subscribe for free, you can throw bits, and you can throw bits for free. If you want to support in other ways, there is Patreon just below, as well as the donate button. Or you can pick up merchandise, or the most important way to support is just showing up, which Bob, Gary, Wynn, you guys show up almost every day at some point for a few minutes or much longer, and I really appreciate that. You're my favorites. Everybody who's just showing up to this evening, that's awesome too, because that makes Monday nights something a little special. So there we go. Thank you guys. Now we are coming into the second hour, which we're only doing the second hour tonight. We're not doing the third hour because Ed and Kevin are both leaving after the first 2 hours, so we're gonna.
Yeah, I'm not on the 7 a.m. horrendous start, but I'm in at 9. So.
Gotcha. Let's go ahead and start the second hour. 1 second.
This week in
And what happened this week in history, Ed?
Shit happened, y'all. 24 years ago, Bad Boys with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence was released.
So that was 1999? I don't know how long ago 24 years ago was.
Oh, 24 years ago. You got a cell phone.
Too long.
Hold on, let me count back. Okay, well, not, I guess, they're supposed to be doing part 3 of that now.
Yeah, later
Bad
this
Boys.
year. Yeah.
Is it releasing this year?
Yes, it's supposed to be later this year.
Is there a trailer out yet?
Not yet.
I'm surprised they don't have a teaser.
I think it's supposed to be a late fall winter release.
Okay.
The trailer yet, they haven't quite wrapped up filming yet.
Okay.
Is it before or after Aladdin's release?
The Blue Gem.
Hmm.
51 years ago, It's a Wonderful Day in the Neighborhood. Wonderful Day in the Neighborhood. Mr. Rogers was released on television.
51. So let's see. So Ed, how was that premiere? The rest of us weren't here yet. You would have been just right age. You would have been about 3 or 4. Yeah.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
Yeah, so you would have been just right for the age group they were aiming for. Yeah,
My
Kev?
dad didn't let me watch
White people?
television.
You're like, he's got 2 set of shoes and he changes jackets when he gets home. What the fuck is that all about? Still confuses me. Toei says I was too old for Mr. Rogers at that point. How young did he like his women, Win? Yes, Kev?
Just going back, the Bad Boys 3 movie, Bad Boys for Life, there was a delay because of a change of director. The current advertised release date is January the 17th, 2020.
What director did they change over to?
I'm not sure, bear with me a sec. Well, I don't know who it was. It's now, I've never heard of these guys, but maybe the names ring a bell. Adil El Arbi and Bilal Falah are now directing. And Sony has confirmed a January 17th, 2020 release date.
Real quick, if I can interrupt. Devnal, thank you so much for resubscribing, man. I think you're close to... Let's see. It doesn't tell me how many months in a row.
Oh dear.
But
apparently there's...
Uh-huh.
Sorry, I was just reading that same article. Apparently there's a rumour that it is going to be called Bad Boys for Life, but Life is going to be LIF3. Already I don't like it.
At least it's not LYF3. So they can always make it worse. And Devnal, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for stopping in tonight.
Devnal.
We were just talking about the awesome people that support the channel. There's an example right there. Ed, what else you got?
35 years ago, Footloose.
What do you think of the remake, guys?
Haven't seen it.
Haven't seen it.
Haven't seen it.
Haven't seen
I don't remember it, but I've seen it.
it. Haven't
That
been
tells,
looking at it.
that tells me everything I need to know about my attention.
Yeah. It's, by the way, everybody, Twitch has put out more emotes. And because we have had as many subscribers as we've had previously, we now have a 4th emote available, which you get. Hey, speaking of people subscribing, there's Steven dropping in, Green Goblin. And he's been up 9 months, 7 months. And
Thanks,
for his subscribe, he put fuck a bubble with a duck bill. Yes, Bob, you're right. But you guys right now, you might be helping me get another emote. The more subscribers we have, we can get up to a total of 5 emotes. So, yeah, there's more. There's more. So, yeah, I like the emotes. I need to know, if we get to the point where we get to make another emote, we will have a discussion on air of what it should be. And it will not be a fleshlight, Bob. Yes, Elizabeth?
What's an emote?
Okay, you know how, like, when I... Hey, sorry to interrupt answering your question, but Dez just popped in. Happy birthday there, Dez.
Oh, happy birthday.
You know the little funny pictures in the chat? Look.
Mm-hmm.
Those are emotes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or emojis.
Well, and there's the Talk of the Tavern. What are the ones that you have right now?
The ones that I have right now are the Brandy Glass, the Mustache, the Talk of the Tavern sign, and now the Civ Art Social Club Cogsley guy. That is a custom emote there. It's yeah, well, soon maybe we'll need a 5th emote, so we'll figure it out.
The 5th emote. Wasn't that a movie?
I think it was.
Oh, it should be.
Steven, you're good with the graphic thing? Maybe I'll have you make... There we go. Look at all those. See, and you guys do have access to 2 now instead of 1 when you're level 1 subscriber. Higher level subscribers get the other ones. 350.
Oh.
That's right. 350. Very good, Steven. It's Ed, what else you got for us?
Oh, shit. Bring it back up here. 79 years ago, Pinocchio was released in theaters.
How many years?
Wow.
Did you say 79?
79.
They had theaters then?
Yeah, they've had theaters for like 140 years now.
Has it been that long?
But with moving
film?
pictures,
Yeah.
a little after that, it's hard to imagine that. It feels like, what? We didn't have a country that long. A Win made these 2 for her channel. So yeah, I made all the emotes I have, guys. But as we grow even more, the other emotes we have, especially once we hit whatever it is after affiliate partner, they'll be large and colorful and all that good stuff, and maybe get some drawn by Elizabeth and maybe some made by Steven. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Make Toei do it all. She'll have a bunch of tractors of different colors for our emotes. It's what else you get?
His Majesty arrives. Star
Oh.
has returned.
I saw us compressed on him recently. Paparazzi have been following him.
It's packed on my lounge floor.
Very true. Very
All
true.
right, got some birthdays, and then I got some crap that's going on right now. February 24th, 1950, singer George Thorogood.
Yeah!
54. That explains why we don't see him
I
run
love
off.
his version of one bourbon, one scotch, one beer.
I do enjoy it also.
Me too. February
Moving on over. Sorry.
February 25th, 1943, George Harrison of the Beatles.
Nice, nice. We, I guess you're going to talk about deaths too? Do you have deaths on your list?
No, the dude from the Monkees, is that who you think?
Yeah, speaking of Beatles, because they're just like the Beatles, and now they're down to 2, just like the Beatles.
February 26, 1928, The Man with the Thrills. And no, it wasn't you, Bob. It was Fats Domino.
That wasn't Bob?
No, it wasn't Bob. Well, close. It was a big fat black guy. So.
There we go.
February 28, 1906, gangster Bugsy Siegel.
Very nice.
There really wasn't any good birthdays this month.
Let me do this. Hey, everybody that's watching, do me a favor. Type something in chat. I don't care if it's a hi. There is an achievement that we get, and we get so many chatters at one time. And seeing how many people we have in here, if you guys would be willing to throw something in the chat, that would be awesome.
Even if you just type no.
There we go.
Don't tell me what to do.
Yes, ma'am. It's, just trying to get them to, yeah, Tempe, I didn't even know you were here. Hi. I saw Jules here, though.
Hey, Tempe.
There we
I
go.
used the bag.
Oh, wow. So Steven lays down a penis, and then Devnall pops up immediately afterwards with, I have big balls. This is the rest of the show, just to see what...
Oh, that's great.
We'll just take 2 or 3 and stick them together as movie titles.
Sorry.
There's Jewel, and probably Jamin, too. How are you guys? We got a postcard with the cannon sticking out the windows. Ed'll like this one.
Oh.
Ed, it says, hold on, I've got like 5 of them. The one I got this week, it says, liberals, the Second Amendment doesn't apply to modern weapons. Me. Okay, we'll do this your way. And it shows a large 2-story house with cannons sticking out of 5 of the windows. So, it's, the Forbidden Love one was pretty funny with the dog and the cat. Oh, Elizabeth, thank you for that cheer. I wasn't really looking for cards. I appreciate that. Isn't Ooh Matron already a British series? Hey, TC, how are you? T. Calidana. Appreciate you giving a shout out. Oh, Ed, thank you, man. He's about to catch up with you, Bob. Pass you up there. Oh, he did pass Steven tonight. At first, I was checking in while I smoked a legal pipe in my estate. Now I am stuck. We have that effect on people. What's that?
I'm just reading.
Oh, okay.
I'm reading the chat. That's funny.
Must be the show or the pipe. It's hard to say. I'd smoke a pipe too, but we can't open the windows because it's too cold, and I don't want to smoke poor Andrea out. It's But I think with all the bits all you guys have thrown tonight, we're only like $15 away from getting paid for the month of February by Twitch. So, thank you guys. I appreciate that. And all the other support. You're number 3, Steven. You're number 3. But if you notice a scroll going across, you're the top. You and Bob are the top 2 donators. So there's that. You got that, man. So, any more birthdays, Ed?
February 29th, 1976, rapper turned actor Ja Rule.
I don't even remember who the hell that is.
I know who that is.
Are they any good?
I was desperate. March 1st, 1904, jazz composer Glenn Miller.
Okay, see, I know who that is. As I like.
March 2nd, 1904, Dr. Seuss.
Which is pronounced not Seuss.
Whatever. Fuck.
Yeah.
What
it's,
is it? What?
Say,
Suez.
What kid's gonna say that shit?
no, it's.
When in doubt, Google.
In the UK, it's pronounced Zeus. That's it's like the king of the
Zeus.
gods.
Zeus. Yeah, by the family and the author, Theodore Geisel, it was pronounced Zeus. Zoice would be the. So, there's that.
So,
I never remember. Huh?
Noise.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was just thinking of. Ed, did we really fucking get through this week in history in 12 minutes?
Oh no, I got stuff going on today.
Okay.
Right now.
Should we be?
Stuff going on right now.
Should we be
Actually, this
scared?
happened last month. We mentioned her once before on the show. The bikini climber.
Say it again.
The bikini climber. I mentioned her like months ago. She climbs mountain, takes photos of herself in bikinis, sarongs, other scantily clad stuff. And it was in Thailand. I think when I talked about her a few months ago, she had climbed up this mountain that was sacred. Yeah.
She's the one who got in deep shit because she was topless on top of a religious mountain.
Exactly, yes.
Okay.
So she had a blog, and this was her thing. She was 36 years old. Her name was Gigi Wu. Well, she's dead.
I'm guessing by all the wases, that's... So...
Recent hike, she fell in a ravine. They couldn't get to her in time. She froze to death.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it got me just thinking, and then while I was researching that, I'm searching the internet, Googling and shit. Okay, how many people actually do? She wasn't climbing in bikinis. She would climb, change, take the photo, change, come back down. How many people do climb in bikinis? There's a lot. And I found there's something else. People climb naked. Oh, hell no. I like doing stuff in nature in the nude, but you scrape shit when you climb across rocks.
Yeah.
Oh, hell no.
It's kind of like motorcycling, you know, in a tank top and shorts. It's like you did what? It's, Yeah, this...
I'm skinny and 6'8". I'm essentially, when I move, a bit like an animated praying mantis. I can trip and scuff myself on shit and smack my head in it. Like, I don't know if you can see. Can you see marks just there at my forehead? That's from headbutting a shelf at work above the bar. like the shelf that's hung to be above everybody's head height. I smash my head onto it at least once a week. Cut my head open a few days ago.
Thank you, Des. Appreciate that, man.
Given I damaged myself that much, why the fuck am I going rock climbing or anything else like that naked?
Dude.
Mate, I'm going to end up coming back looking like a slice of bologna.
Steven, Green Goblin there, has taken the lead by just a few bits now. You were so close to overtaking Bob. Now you're back to third there, Ed. Sorry about that.
Oh,
Bob's number 2, though.
Thank you.
Yeah. Appreciate that, Steven.
Bob
And
is
Des.
indeed- Bob is indeed a number 2.
Des, appreciate that. I think Des is at like number... Yeah, he's number... Oh, he's pretty up there. Okay. We're doing good. Hey, Elizabeth, you're number 4. You're doing great.
Thank you.
Yeah, at least you're not number 2, which, sounds like poo.
That's true. That's very true.
I'm saying
That's the
nothing has
showstopper.
currently to date the total number of bits I have contributed to this channel is 0.
Is it? Well, that's because you're in the UK and you can't.
Thank you, Twitch, for not allowing me to watch free videos for bit like everyone in America can. Because I am too tight to pay for it.
Don't worry, once Brexit goes through, I'm sure they'll let you. Because you're going to need money in some way.
I don't doubt it, yeah. I won't be able to pay for bits after that. None of us will. We'll all be broke.
That's right. You better have free ads, otherwise nobody's getting nothing. And
Here's an interesting statistic for you. If we don't already have a new trade deal with something like America in place at the moment we leave Europe, the estimated financial cost of Britain is £4 billion a year.
the estimated cost of what?
For British trade. What it will cost our country, and the cost inevitably, because politicians are arseholes, will be passed on to the common man, me. Not entirely. Other people like me as well.
And
But
what's
£4 billion a year will be the deficit.
what is the
trade.
current cost?
Now that's on top of current costs.
Oh, an
we will
additional.
also be facing an additional $4 billion a year until we have a new customs deal.
Well done, Bob. The port in Dover will cost that much. Okay. So regarding this chick who's climbing bikinis and died, I would have to say she died doing what she loved doing.
Well,
Laying at the bottom of a ravine, freezing.
I was going to say, you could argue that freezing to death in a ravine probably was the top of our list of favourite shit.
No, but she had to know the risks. But on the other hand, at least she wasn't like assassinated by somebody who was so offended by her quasi-nude picture on top of a mountain. You know,
If she thought ahead, what she should have done when she realised that her time had come would be to strip down to a bikini and strike a pose before she froze to death. So that she-
and do a few selfies and hope she gets enough signal to Instagram that shit out.
wow.
It probably is somebody's fetish there, Des. It's but no, seriously, this is what she did. Whether it's for hits and the money and whatever, she knows the fucking risk. She apparently there's that
Yeah,
5.
apparently it started on a dare. Somebody dared her to climb this mountain and take a photo of the king from there.
Well, thank God nobody's dared me to do that, because I'd be at the bottom of the mountain going, I made it to the mountain. I look great in a bikini. B cup.
While we're on the subject of this bikini climber, not her, but a similar thing before we move on to the next thing. Has everyone seen that post that's moving around on the internet about the teenage polar explorer and the sandwich? Does anyone not know what that is?
No, I don't.
Okay. Her name is Jade Hameister, Hameister. She's a 16-year-old girl who became the youngest person to conquer the polar hat trick. She skied to the North Pole, skated across Greenland's largest ice cap, and skied down to the South Pole. She did a TED Talk in Melbourne, and a whole bunch of guys commented underneath, "Yeah, well done, give yourself a pat on the back. Now make me a sandwich." So she went back to the South Pole with a ham and cheese sandwich that she'd made and took a photograph of herself, and I will put the link in Twitch so you can see the article in a second. And she posted it up on Twitter with the caption, "I made you your sandwich, it's ham and cheese. Now you ski 37 days and 600 kilometers to the South Pole and you can eat it."
Nice. Well done.
We'll pop the link to the article into Twitch because it's well worth having a look at. And hats off to her, the biggest fuck you to a bunch of misunderstood ever.
Ed's moving up the ranks. Oh no, Ed has topped the ranks.
Yeah, he has.
Oh, effort, my son.
Way to take the lead, Ed. Good job.
Oh, that's funny.
That's great. That's fucking great.
It's from Bob.
What's that?
Bob just threw 5 bits.
Still, F Ed.
Thank you, bro.
Which if you F Ed, you get fed. That's right. That is, that's great. That's great.
Bob has rightfully pointed out, apparently today is breast self-examination day, so just for you, Bob.
Bob!
The nipple is covered, Twitch. Yeah, it's still there.
And Elizabeth missed it.
Elizabeth's gone off camera to check both of hers.
How were they?
More stuff going on. With the cancellation of Punisher and Jessica Jones, there will be no more Marvel on Netflix.
That's correct. There are
It's
other.
going to Disney, right?
Well, those ownership goes to Disney. Disney may revive them, but there's contractual things where they can't do it for at least 2 years. But there are other. Well, 1 second, Kevin. I'll pass it right over to you. There are other shows like on Hulu and whatnot that are staying there. And there are even other more new Marvel shows coming out, such as 3 animated Marvel shows, which are going to be very tongue-in-cheek, adult comedy type stuff, including Tigra and Dazzler is one. Howard the Duck is another one. It's going to be an animated series. And Leah Thompson will be voicing one of the characters, but not the lead female. Kev, what do you have?
She'll be Howard the Duck.
I was just going to say, I don't know about Jessica Jones or any others. I read an article online this morning that said that apparently there's a discussion already between Disney and Hulu with regard to doing the 3rd season of Punisher because it's been so popular. Yeah, apparently it's been so popular that when Netflix aren't carrying on with it, they would like to see it carry on in some kind of format, but it's very early days yet. There's nothing decided, but apparently Hulu are already talking about taking it on.
So it was Netflix that decided to end it for some reason, as opposed to Disney going...
I don't know whether it was Netflix's decision or whether a contract forced them to not make any more. I don't know what the cause of it ending on there is. All I know is...
Netflix canceled it. They canceled it.
Not because they have an issue. Did you want to turn the chat there, Elizabeth?
They just canceled it because somebody's gone. They felt that the show didn't do well the 2nd season.
Oh, okay. So and all the Marvel stuff like that, they felt like it didn't. See, I'm surprised Disney doesn't just scoop them up and run with them. And, you know, even if they combine them again into the Defenders and do one title called the Defenders...
the Avengers.
No, they have a Defenders series up there where they brought all the characters together pre-Punisher. You guys are funny over there with your bits, Bob and Steven. And so, you know, they did one series called The Defenders and basically split the storyline. So you do a more concise storyline and focus on 2 of the heroes per season. And, you know, have the other ones as background in the next season, switch it over. They could do something if they wanted to.
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
Here, see, we can't compete with you. And I don't think you guys will see it, but the viewers will see this.
You get tons more pussy than I do in your house.
This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right there. And
That's greedy.
this one. There we go. Okay, let's bring that back over to here. Oh, there's the bits all over.
Oh, that was weird.
So
Get that
all
out
this
my
talk
face.
about like carrying on these Marvel series and reviving them in different formats and bringing new stuff through.
Actually-
at what point are we going to see the comic book implode? Where it
Can-
all just
let
comes as
me
different subjects?
interrupt. Wait, stop. That's next week's topic, actually.
Okay.
Next week's topic is
Yeah.
superheroes,
Okay.
played out, and that's what we've got next. That's the only reason I'm interrupting. Otherwise, I'd be like, yeah, go
That's
on.
cool. No, that's fine.
But-
That's, yeah, so
So, yeah, well,
Save it up.
Save it up. Absolutely, because this is a good question that we'll definitely be addressing next week. So,
it's a shame the show's so late. Like we've got Deadpool along.
Steven, thanks for dropping in, man. Thanks for having fun throwing the bits at us. We love you and appreciate that. And I should
Thank
be...
you, man.
I finished making my box for the audiobook out of cardboard and foam and covered it with brown paper, so I should start recording in the next week or so. I've just got to get a few more padding for the room as I do the recording. So you should have an audiobook.
Don't we all?
Yeah, we do. Okay, Ed, what else you got?
Okay, upcoming fantasy series coming into the tube or online, probably, well, more or less. I think we
Amazon.
might have talked about some of these. Amazon is set to release a fantasy series that is based on the life of young Aragon. That's what they're doing for the Lord of the Rings. They're not
Intriguing.
Right.
taking materials necessarily directly from any other novels or anything.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
so.
It'll have a lot of material from, like the, I'm going to mispronounce it because I always do, the Silmarillion.
Silmarillion.
Yeah.
Silmarillion.
So they'll be using information from that and
Right.
basing it after The Hobbit, but pre-Lord of the Rings.
Right.
And
Okay.
now, did they confirm? Because as of yesterday or the day before, they still, it was assumed it's going to be about Aragon.
It's assumed. Yeah,
Okay.
It's assumed, but I've read a lot of assumptions, so it's looking pretty good.
Yeah, it's well, it makes sense to give at least some kind of named character, and then cameos by other known characters. Now, this isn't going to use any of the same actors, though. They're all brand new actors, etc. Right?
Very actors, yeah.
But I know we're. You okay over there,
Yeah. No, I'm just reading comments.
Bob? Yeah.
It's
We-
interesting. I was reading about Viggo Mortensen. I think that's the actor's name. It says he speaks 7 languages.
Yeah.
And they show interviews where he's doing it in different languages. What a brain, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. So for that hunky stuff, and speaking, Bob saying nerds as we talk about Lord of the Rings, look at that guy. Hunky, rugged, nerdy. It's yeah, he's got a lot to him. But by the way, if you ever have a chance to watch his movie with the horse and the race,
Hildago.
yeah, I enjoyed that. That's pretty
He
good.
kept that horse.
Yeah, he
Did
kept
he?
that horse. He also kept a number of his horses from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
He actually requested to the part in Hildago. He wanted to do that.
Nice,
Ugh,
nice.
it's bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bob, we call them little people now, my friend. We had one on the show, very famous, world famous comedian, who let us know. It's I've learned my lesson by anyhow.
Okay. Game of Thrones prequels are in the works for HBO.
Whatever.
Yeah. Amazon is said to be working on Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time series.
I'll believe it when I see the first episode. No,
Yeah.
they've been talking for 20 years about making that.
They tried it once before, didn't they? And it collapsed after a while.
Yeah, but some money has actually been spent for rights.
I would love to see it done justice, but Jesus Christ, I mean, people thought taking on Game of Thrones, Song of Fire and Ice, call it what you will, they thought that was a mammoth task. They thought converting Lord of the Rings to film was going to be a mammoth task. How the fuck do you convert Wheel of Time? Talking about 14 full-size fat novels, a ridiculously in-depth plot, hundreds of characters. I'd be intrigued to see it. I would love it if they did justice to it, because it is one of my favourite fantasy series of all time, and the writing in it is absolutely fabulous. That's a hell of a job to convert that faithfully to TV.
Shouldn't be, well, with the previous owners, they had somebody who owned it, and they had to have something made by a certain time. So they actually made something, I don't know, in their closet with sock puppets or something and released it at 2 a.m. just to hang on to those rights. And then shortly after, the rights were actually sold. So, and that's why I say I'll believe it when I see it. Kevin, I hope they do a better job with sticking to the books. Now, Game of Thrones is a fine series, but it goes off book. And that's to be expected a little bit. But primarily,
the shows started to be made before the books were completed. So.
Right.
Well, I mean, my friends think I'm mad, and I'll explain this. I've watched the Game of Thrones TV series, and then I stopped where the books stopped.
Right.
I refused to watch it for now until the books come. Now, partly that's because I read the books first. So, although I've seen the TV series, the characters in my head don't look that. I've done what all good books should do. I've conjured up pictures in my head of these characters. I've imagined these scenes. And although I like the TV series, it's not the books. Now, I get why they did some of the stuff they did. There was a couple of bits, like they took two minor characters and combined them and made one guy and made him do both things. I kind of got that. It simplifies the plot. Two of the books, you got what's happening in Westeros in that time period in the first book. Then in the second book, it's the same time period for all the other shit that's going on. And instead of doing that, they did a straight timeline. I get that. That makes sense with TV. What bothered me now is, okay, Martin's given them all of his notes. They know how the story's going to end. They're not just making this shit up. They're basing it on what is actually going to happen in Game of Thrones. But he hasn't written them. And we all know there is a big difference between a cohesive set of notes that explain the storyline and the actual written book. You lose all of that fine detail, all those little bits that you add in as you write and create. And so I don't want to watch the TV series now and then read the books afterwards when they finally come out. Get your shit together, George. Because it's going to spoil it for me, because I'll have seen the main bulk of the plot, and then when I read the book, all these other little bits are going to be like, oh, that wasn't in the TV series, then that's different. And now I've kind of ruined the books by watching the TV first. So I read up to where the books finished. I watched the TV series up to the end of the current books. And I stopped watching it, and I'll watch the end of the TV series after I read the book.
I think you should throw something extra in here, a little disclaimer that you will watch it when the books come out, or when George dies and you know they're not coming out.
Or if he dies and then never,
Yeah, whichever comes first.
Just while I'm airing my frustrations, yes, George R. R. Martin not having released more books from that series yet is frustrating. Stop milking the market, making loads of money from personal appearances, and get the fuck on the right.
No. He doesn't charge.
Doesn't he?
No, he doesn't charge.
Just for the glory and the fame, is it?
We've been at a convention where he is, and he doesn't linger long, but he does a lot of signings, 2-3 a day, but yeah, apparently he doesn't charge to appear.
Oh, fair play.
And he didn't charge for the autographs either, did he? So he's not charging for shit. So
he may be frustrating me, but nowhere near as much as Patrick Rothfuss.
Oh, him.
Patrick Rothfuss, if you are watching this, get the fuck on with the third book in the Name of the Wind series, or I will come and find you and will beat your ass myself. Your thought for one, two really good first books.
I'd film that.
Well, me beating Patrick Rothfuss' ass.
Talk about going off the plot. It's Patrick, since you are probably watching with all these others, we can have you back for a rebuttal later. It's what books were they, Kev?
The first one's called The Name of the Wind. You can find it from that. The first two are out, but he's still not released the third. The first two are excellent if you haven't read.
Haven't even heard of them.
What the second one's called. It's been so long since I read them again every now and then just to frustrate myself.
Because you're thinking of Vignarin, aren't you?
No. I'm.
With his comment.
The King Killer Chronicle.
The Kinky Yellow Chronicle?
The Name of the Wind and The Wise Man's Fear are the first two.
By the way, while he's looking that up, Bob just typed, I'd love to give the Queen Mother some melting snow on her mountains. The thing is, we have 3 female cats, and we call one the Princess, one the Queen, and the 18-year-old cat, we call her the Queen Mother. So when he says, I'd love to give the Queen Mother some melting snow on her mountains, we're picturing this old, ratty, 18-year-old gray cat. And Bob jerking off on her.
I filmed that. $20 is $20.
In a moment, I'll have to put the camera under the table to track Andrea there.
My poor cat.
What else you got, Ed?
Amazon is developing a cutting-edge series based more closely on Robert Howard's book.
Do you know if it will extend into the other authors of the ones that came out in the 90s, including Robert Jordan, who wrote 2 or 3 of the Conan books in the 90s?
Do not know.
Okay. But are you familiar with that, Kev? I'm sorry.
Robert Howard alone wrote like 20 books.
Yeah.
So,
I tell you what, reading some of these other authors, like Robert Jordan doing a Conan book, some of them stuck much closer to Robert Jordan's style and material, whereas others, I just kind of went, why is this even a Conan book?
what? Yeah.
So it's a hit and miss, depending on...
And
He said he loves cats.
finally,
That's the
Hold on a second. I've got to show this to Bob. Okay, Bob, there's the cat we're talking about. Now, for you guys here, I'll do this. That's the cat that we're imagining Bob giving mountains.
I think that would be the look.
I think the more worrying concern on that particular comment is the reply after sent him.
Go ahead, say it.
It was just checking the Bob is in fact where the Queen Mother died in 2002.
But, I mean, she's
You
still...
want snow all over it, Bob. Good luck getting your way past
I mean,
the
Kevin,
guards.
she's still up and walking around even though she died then, right?
Of course, yeah. I mean, she's a British institution.
She's British,
You
yeah.
don't allow her to die, It's stuff of formaldehyde animated over some Cybertronics designed by Elon Musk, and she now presides over the changing of the guard at 10 a.m.
She is carrying on as a good Brit would. And Bob says, I'm so hot. Very good. So, okay, wait a minute. That was a Conan series, a Lord of the Rings series, and a Wheel of Time series. What else, Ed? Because I'm starting to get, excited here.
Yeah, yes.
M-O-O-N, that spells Stephen King's The Stand will once again be produced in a miniseries. 10 episodes on CBS All Access.
So how are you enjoying CBS All Access now that you paid for it?
Not enough. I'm not home enough.
Is there enough content for it to be worth, what is it, $5 a month?
I don't know. I got it through Amazon Prime, so I'm not really sure how much it is a month, to be honest with
Okay.
you. I'm watching Discovery, of course.
Right.
And I just mainly use it to catch up on the rest of the CBS shows that I missed throughout the week while I'm at work.
Okay. It's so The Stand, which, by the way, the first miniseries is still pretty good.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for the Steve. There's Bob took the lead. There you go, Bob. Good job, man. It's
Snuck back in there.
that is one of the good Stephen King movies pre-2000. because after 2000 he had more creative control and started making some decent movies. Like the original it doesn't stand up now. To watch it versus the new one, it's still not bad, but it doesn't. And it's not because the new one is so much better. Not at all. Just there's a lot of the acting, the lack of soundtrack, etc. And also it was made for TV. So it has a certain leveling thing going on.
And to be fair, it's a different time period.
Mm-hmm.
That was a completely smaller budget.
Right.
That was not dependent upon computer special effects.
Right.
You know, it was squeezed in between people's schedules, and I still find it incredibly frightening. Still, to this day. Yeah, I mean, I think I have it on videotape still. I record it off TV.
But not with a handheld camera. Back when we actually just hit record.
That big button.
That's right. The
Yeah,
VCR
it's
the
still
size
good,
of.
still to this day.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's out of his miniseries.
Tim Curry.
Those.
Come on, man, Tim Curry.
Yeah. Kev?
On the subject of books being converted to TV and film, one thing I am really excited about at the moment, now I've seen the little snapshots of it and sneaky sort of trailer previews, is the film conversion of Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman.
Oh, I didn't even know that was coming out.
Yeah, the demon's being played by David Tennant.
He's my favorite.
Yeah, there's, I think if you Google Good Omens film or something like that, you'll probably find that there is not a trailer per se, but like a little teaser trailer, I suppose, where they talk to them briefly about making it, and you see a couple of shots of them
Good night,
filming
Tempe.
it, and you see discussing, because Neil Gaiman's directing as well, he's involved with it. So.
Oh, nice. He's directing.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he's directing, he's definitely involved. You see him on set and he talks about, you see Tennant talking about working with Neil Gaiman in the clip. I'll see if I can find it and post it before we finish. Yeah, I just wanted to mention that I've seen rumours about it for a while. I love the book. I wasn't sure, you know, when you really like a book, you're always a bit hesitant when you find out they're going to make it. You're like, what if they fuck it? Having seen just a little teasers they've released, I want to see this now. It looks good.
Very good. What else you got, Ed?
That's it.
That's it. Okay. It's trying to think if there's any other birthdays or anything else that we need to discuss. No? Anybody? No? Okay. It's Tempe, you have a good night. Thanks for coming around. Ed, that was very sneaky of you. Way to take the lead there on the bit competition. Oh, I'm sorry. What are you making?
This?
Yeah.
As soon as I get my scissors, I'm done. It's your hat.
It's my hat.
I just gotta. What is that? Yeah.
Nice.
Tonight.
I have a big baggy hat to wear. Nice. It's a.
Oh, you know, there's a trailer for it. Sorry,
He left.
I'll throw the link for this up in Twitch so you guys can have a look at it yourselves. It's not a movie. It's Amazon Prime. It's a Prime original.
So Ed, this is what I have here. That's what the camera will see. This
Really?
here.
So you're gonna record you doing that, because I can put Google Eyes.
You could. It's the way this side will work is I've actually set this up so I can put the Kindle right there. So when I'm talking to the microphone and reading the Kindle, I can flip the page so you don't hear the sound of page turn and stuff like that. I've got a little pad up there. It actually has ridges in it where the Kindle will catch when it sits there. It's John, you still with us?
Looks like a horsey head.
It does. But yeah, I debated on, how to position the Kindle when reading it. What?
No, Bob, it's not a Jimmy hat. It's a Travis hat.
It's but this is what I decided to create the place to set the book up top. I'd probably take it out of the case when I do that, though. But
Sorry, I was just chuckling because Jude's perspective looks like Elizabeth's wielding an enormous marker pen.
it's like a
Like
javelin.
a javelin.
That's
There we go.
definitely a filmmaking
Oh my
technique.
goodness.
For singular perspective.
That's all about the vagina.
So, John,
I see it all the time in posts by people claiming they found the world's biggest snake. And it's
Yeah.
always, like they've hung it in the foreground and they're all stood like 20 feet away, like, look out here. It's just...
That's fun.
So, John, that's what came with the phone that was foam that was in the case. It's now inside here. So, got a place for the cord. See right there? This is where the cord goes. So, there we go. Hopefully I can start doing that soon. What?
What?
I don't know.
What?
You
What?
look forward to doing that soon. Everybody says it's a
But-
vagina. It's funny.
You know what I could do?
Up to you, tell us.
Oh, thank you, John. If I don't have... That gets so hot, though. I'm trying to think of ways to soundproof the room without padding the walls. Last time I was in a room with padded walls, it was not for recording. So we've got a backdrop going to put up here behind me. I'm going to put a rug on the floor. And what I think I'm doing when I'm recording, I'll actually put pillows in front of me across the computers to dampen the noise from them, as well as my voice and bounce back.
It's like egg boxes, isn't it?
What's that?
You know what cheap ass bands use egg boxes. Egg trays.
Yep.
Egg
I-
trays, the cardboard trays you put eggs in.
I have...
Because
Well...
of the weird pod shape, they deaden sound waves because of the angles, stop them from reflecting back.
Can you see inside there, Kev?
Boom.
Here, hold on.
Showing us his black box.
And Kevin's gone.
Yeah, okay. Ah, cool. Got
Yeah.
So, yeah, that has a foam egg crate. You don't want to use a cardboard egg crate. It doesn't actually... It still reflects sound as opposed to absorbing it. So, yeah, what I'm looking at... shove one of her needles into your eardrum. What? I don't even know where you guys have gone with this
I don't
conversation.
even need to look at Twitch to know that's Paul.
1 second, Elizabeth. That was actually John. Okay, Elizabeth, what?
Oh, okay.
Is there room in your closet for you?
No.
Nothing damp and sound
No.
like clothes.
That's correct. And there is room in there, but I can't move my whole setup. My computer, when I move, it starts to rattle now.
Ooh.
After taking it to MarsCon, my hard drive grinds now.
Ah,
So I'm not moving it.
Hey.
Oh, yes, that would work, John. Yes, that makes sense.
No, not my needle.
Yeah, look, I'm so sleepy. But, no, I'll put a backdrop up, and here, let me do an experiment here, guys. Let me check something here.
that's
No.
quite loud.
Okay, what about now? Is there a sound difference from what, 30 seconds ago?
Yeah, your
You're
voice is
closer to
clearer.
mine.
You sound slightly echoey though. Not an echo, but you sound like you're in a small contained space.
Okay. And the reason that was loud,
So
Elizabeth...
I
Good.
was going to say, let's say something consistently rather than the short, just waffle shit for a minute.
Waffle shit. I had one of those after going to Waffle House. I think it was more the sausage than the waffles, though. Now, mind you, it didn't have those little indents in the shit once I was done with it, but it did smell like syrup. I don't know what was going with that. It's, Bob? What? It's,
Your voice is definitely a lot clearer.
Yeah. And
That had to come out clearer.
yeah.
when you're using them normally, it makes perfect sense because your brain fills it in. You don't realise, but there are certain vowel sounds that don't come through as clearly when you're talking. But what you're doing now, every consonant, every phrase, every syllable you're pronouncing, you're hearing everything clearly. Your brain doesn't have to do that computation and fill the gaps in, kind of thing, because there's no background. So yeah, it's working well.
Good.
Based on what I'm hearing. Anyway.
Yeah, then once I pad the floor and put the...
Clonezilla?
Yeah, I know what he's talking about.
Oh, it's real?
Yeah. It's, But yeah, once we pad the rest of the stuff, it should take down a lot of the excess noise and whatnot. We'll see.
And Bob, you're correct, they are indeed in Virginia. Which I presume is what you misspelled.
So there we go. Okay, we got about 10 minutes left before we wrap the show up. And poor Ed has to work tonight, and then Kevin has to work in about 2.5 hours after. Something
it's not
like
quite
that.
that bad, but I'll be at work. Yeah, about 6 hours after I get off.
Very good. And now will you be waking up in 6 hours, or will you be at work in 6 hours?
I'll be at work.
At work waking up.
Leaving home in about 4.5 hours.
I think she wants over here. I don't know if she can get there with the box in the way. This is why the cats would be in the other room. So how well can you guys hear Andrea with this? Okay, good enough.
Why did she get shy all of a sudden?
She has her moments.
Why are you staring at me?
So you could talk.
I don't want to talk.
Everybody?
They only hear me when they need to hear me. I'm not talking.
There we go. Okay, so next week we're going to do the topic of superheroes, played out or not. And we're going to talk about that. That'll no doubt give us fodder for a few hours worth of conversation. It's
Okay.
There we go. It's other than that, thank you for all the bits tonight, guys, and the resubscribes.
You're all awesome.
It's I tend myself, Bob, I tend to listen less when she's topless.
Who's she?
Bob says I could hear her better if she was topless. Meaning Andrea. I just realized you guys can see the kitties over here. The audience cannot.
Maybe he needs to get his head out of his ass. Oh.
Paging Dr. Elizabeth to the burn ward. Dr. Elizabeth to the burn ward, please.
There go my girlfriend.
Oh no.
Travis, are you alright, Travis?
Oh yeah. I'm just I'm letting you guys take up the last couple minutes here with what you're doing.
Just let us pad with Philip like a true consummate host.
Well, generally, if I let you two go, you'll just keep having a good time. So.
So it is. Just put these two together, wind them up.
Watch them go. Nothing wrong with that, is there?
No, you did.
How long's the end of the program?
7 minutes.
7 minutes. It's the first time we got in tonight.
That's the first cunt you got into tonight? Nice. I'm glad we're...
It's not easy being a cunt.
These days, Travis, if I do get into one, it's probably the best. I've only got 7 minutes to go.
and completely out of water. Yeah.
My phone
Alright,
is
so we were
down.
talking about fast food.
What's your favorite fast food
No,
restaurants?
We already consumed that topic and spat it out. Right?
Shout it out.
I'm ahead on the board. I'm already mid-March, so I'm ahead and worked on it.
See that joke.
Still funny.
Yeah. Welcome to Talk of the Tavern and Civ Art Social channel. But yeah, the joke you just told, it's actually in a book that I have right here that I have written and published. 201 of the worst dad jokes. You're welcome. So there you go. It's right in here.
Here's Travis up in the corner.
Yeah.
There we go. A leprechaun. Are we in March already? Or are you preparing?
Well, I told you I'm prepared. I had done all the work on the lettering, and I'm like, I can't erase that. I thought I'd prepare and then maybe do a post. And I have a nice place in my room now, so I can have the board up and play with it.
Show it to Andrea again, please.
His microphone was in the way.
That's what she said.
No, there's a cat in the way.
Oh, is that too much?
Hold on, I gotta move the cats. There we go.
There you go.
Oh, is that a leprechaun?
That's Travis.
So yes.
We all look alike.
I'll send you a picture.
Yay.
There we go.
I just had to get back to doing boards.
There we go. It's a good momentary creativity, I think. Andrea needs more fodder for next year's calendar.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Which one a month is
I
it?
did a comment, but I'll leave it till off the air. It's a little personal, so I'll leave it till off the air.
Oh my.
I really
I
like
told you
that.
before, Elizabeth, does not doing a Talk of the Tavern naked calendar.
We discussed that at one point in time.
I thought
We
you
did.
were. I got you telling me I went ahead and got the Brazilian for nothing?
You know, we did not do that shoot
Can
when
you
we
not
were
send
over
it
there.
back?
For good reason.
He's already gone. He's in the mix.
It's been consumed and spat out.
Yeah, he's disappeared.
It's all off a strip.
I gotta put this away before the cats decided they can sleep in it.
That's what he
You
said.
want the little one?
You got a little one? I got a little one.
Andrea,
Stop.
my junk box.
And what have you made for yourself? You've done all this knitting. Have you done something for yourself?
Oh, I have a scarf. So yeah.
And
You
cat
should make
blankets.
a tea cozy.
Make what? Oh, tea cozy.
Maybe.
Can you do that?
Maybe. I have to
To make
learn
a
how to
cat
read it.
cozy.
I have to learn how to read a pattern. Great.
Cat. So
It's
anyhow,
just sound buffering.
see, Kevin, I thought about doing that to help with the sound also, just sitting here with a blanket over me to, be in the soundproofish room.
And that's why he has to lock the cats away. You're like, what are you doing in there?
That's right. We want in the blanket fort too. So anyhow,
Cameron, I think.
so we're gonna wrap this up.
Bird in the box. The bird box. Kevin's in the bird box.
Okay, guys, we will catch you next week. Thank you for joining us this week, and don't forget, I am streaming most of the days of the week through the afternoon and evenings for the most part. Elizabeth likes to pop in and say hello, and Andrea wanders in and out of the room, and so anyhow, make sure you join me also and hang out. And thank you guys for all the support. Let's go to some outro music. Oh, right, closing toast.
Oh,
What do you got? You don't have one? You don't have one? Anything? Nothing? It's, hey, in a disposable society where friendships and items are disposable, make some shit that's real and enjoy what you get from it. Outro music.
The one thing that makes the show what it is. Don't forget to join us at the Tavern next week.
Bye.
Have fun,
Later.
learn,
Y'all.
be good to one another. Now, raise your glass in good cheer. Enjoy the small moments every day, and steamy dreams every night.
I enjoy a small moment every day. Have a trust.
True story.
Naked or not.
Night, Zoe, John, Gary.
Night, everyone.